If you visit Fort Edward, New York, you'll find no shortage of memorials to Jane McCrea, but the real story of her life and death is shrouded in legend. Growing up in New Jersey, Jane was very close to her neighbor David Jones. After her father died, Jane moved north to live with her brother near Fort Edward. The Jones family had also moved to Fort Edward, so Jane and David rekindled their love and agreed to marry. Then the revolution began. David became a lieutenant in the British Army, while Jane's brother John became a colonel in the Continental Army. The wedding at John's farm was called off, and the couple was separated. David and Jane planned for a reunion. In the summer of 1777, young Jane went to Fort Edward and the home of Mrs. McNeil, a relative of a British officer. There, she awaited the opportunity to cross enemy lines and reunite with her love. On July 27th, Indian warriors, aligned with Burgoyne's army, arrived in Fort Edward and were supposed to bring Jane back to the British camp. But Jane was killed before she ever saw David again. What happened? One account claims the Indians quarreled over who would get the reward, while others say they were in a bad mood due to battlefield losses, leading them to murder and scalp young Jane in a fit of rage. Still others theorize that Jane was actually shot by Patriot militia firing on her captors. At the time, stories of Jane's brutal death sparked fear of the Indians and outrage against the British who were unable to protect this young woman. Artists seized upon the potential for a historical novel and dramatic renditions of the story. Unrequited love, a clash of cultures, the fog of war, and a life cut short. Well, that's a major television event which practically writes itself.